All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out this evening. On behalf of the Ferris State University Arts and Lectures Series, I would like to welcome you to our campus. And for those of you who have not been here before, welcome. Those of you who have been on campus before, welcome back. The exciting thing about this next performer that you are going to see tonight is that she's an American sweetheart. She's one of these that writes great songs, is a great person, and she represents America. And I love the fact that we have her here with us today. So, without any further ado, I would like to welcome the lovely and talented Miss Natalie Hemby to come to stage. And thank you so much for being here, everybody. I've got the nice chill music going for you. Turn this up. All right, my gosh, welcome. So, I'm going to put this mic back over here and let you take it away.
Okay, awesome. I didn't know if you were going to interview me.
Oh, I'd love to.
Just kidding. Thank you so much for coming out tonight on a Tuesday night. My name is Natalie Hemby, and I am from Nashville, Tennessee. As Paul said, Paul and I, we didn't work together, but he worked for a company out behind a management company that I answered phones for. Terrible at it. I was a very bad employee, but we were good friends, and Paul knew me before any of this stuff happened to me that I'm about to tell you tonight. Also, I just want to thank Pat Curry for the amazing hat here. Where is he at? There he is. There he is. This is my favorite hat. This hat is, my husband and I are going to fight over this hat, so... well, thank you. You'll save my marriage. So, also, I just want to shout out to my friends at the Friendship House who drove all the way. They drove 4.5 hours. Hi, Terry and Liz. Jenna, thank you guys so much for coming. Terry made me this. It's so beautiful. And Liz makes these amazing bracelets. And I just wanted to thank you so much for coming tonight. So, okay, well. I'm going to put this hat on display so everybody can see the beauty of this. Okay, my name is Natalie Hemby. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. My parents are both in the music business, okay? My mom is from Illinois. My dad is from Southeast Missouri, and they moved to Nashville when I was 2 to work in the music industry. So I kind of grew up around it. And I always thought it was interesting. Songwriting is such a weird type of profession. It's not like other professions, like where, if you're a lawyer, you have to go to school, you study law, and you become a lawyer. If you're a chef, you can look in a pantry, and like I look in a pantry and I see a bunch of cans, okay, and I don't know what to make. But a chef can look in a pantry and be like, I'm going to make this tonight. They just have a natural gift. My natural gift has always been songwriting. I have been writing songs since I was a little kid. Some of them were very stupid. I remember when I got my first #1, one of my friends from school was like, "You've come a long way since your song Boogers and Dragons in 4th grade." I was like, I have. But Boogers and Dragons was a really great song. But anyways, I hear melodies in my head all the time. I hear lyrics in my head. And have you ever seen the movie Field of Dreams? Yeah. If you haven't seen that movie, please watch it. It's phenomenal. The whole premise is Kevin Costner, he hears this voice that tells him to build a baseball field in the middle of a cornfield. And it says, if you build it, he will come. And so he ends up building this baseball field. The whole point of it was to bring his father back and make his dream come true. Well, for me, I hear these songs, and I've always wondered, the person who wrote All by Myself, were they like sitting on the commode or something, and they were like, oh, wow, that's a really great melody. Or it was Beyonce in the shower, and she was washing her hair, and she was like, I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this, 'cause my body's too bootylicious for you, babe. And she was like, oh my gosh, I need to write this song. Or was Tom Petty, was he driving somewhere in Florida in his truck and singing? Did something just come into his head? Well, it started out down a dirty road. It started out all alone. I'm learning to fly, learning to fly. Y'all know that song? Anyways, I just have always wondered what makes people write songs. So, cut to several years later, I think I'm 30 years old, okay? My husband is working. He's having all this music success. I have absolutely nothing going on in my life. I had just gotten out of a job working at Comcast. And I was at home one day, and my grandmother had just passed away, and I read The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Do you guys know what that book is? It's an excellent book. So I read this book, and I was feeling very inspired, and for some reason, this day, I decided to mow the lawn, which I never do. I'm not a lawnmower. But I just started mowing the lawn, and I was walking back and forth, and this melody came into my head, and it was just like, ooh, oh, ooh. And then these lyrics literally just popped in my mouth like this. I can hear the bees buzzing through the walls, making their honey and singing their song. They say I work for the queen all day. Yeah, I work for the queen all day. And I wrote the song called The Bees with my friend Daniel Tashin. And so I started playing the song out at coffee shops, and I started playing it for friends. And it ended up being my very first country music cut. And it was by Leanne Womack. She cut it. And she did a duet with Keith Urban on the song. And my first truth that I want to tell you about a song is that sometimes they can be written in the most unlikely places at the most unlikely times. This song is called The Bees. Sorry. There we go. All right. Sorry, let me get myself adjusted here. There we go. I'm good. I just lost my pick, though. Let's see. I'm going to take this one. I'll tell you what, in my house, there's picks and black socks somewhere in the drawer, always. So, anyways. This is called The Bees. Sorry. Here we go. All right. Sorry. I've been looking for a sweeter side, looking for a big bloom on a shore vine, looking for a better way of life, somewhere that I can call home. I spend my time at a peach stand, sun's beating like a stinging red tan, just like the back of my daddy's hand, the only thing I've ever known. I can hear the bees buzzing through the walls, making their honey and singing their song. They say I work for the queen all day. Yeah, I work for the queen all day. Sometimes it's a bitter taste for a motherless child so out of place. I never understood why she ran away, and maybe I will never know. There's a light shining through the trees, and a restless hum that's calling me. I could almost be carried by a breeze and let it take me where it goes. I can hear the bees buzzing through the walls, making their honey and singing their song. They say I work for the queen all day. Yeah, I work for the queen all day. Now I'm standing on the front porch, kettle whistling through the screen door. Little footsteps on the kitchen floor, and pretty soon we're gonna eat. Well, some things come right away, some seem to take forever and a day. But all I know is that it worked out either way. I think I found a family. I can hear the bees buzzing through the walls, making their honey and singing their song. They say I work for the queen all day. Yeah, I work for the queen all day. I can hear the bees buzzing through the walls, making their honey and singing their song. They say I work for the queen all day. Yeah, I work for the queen all day. Ooh. Thank you. Okay. So I went to sorry. There we go. I went to Tampa one time, and my best friend lives down there. And I would think I was like 19 or 20. And I don't know about you guys, but we have a lot of churches down in the South. And I went to this one church with my friend, and there was a woman there prophesying over people. And I was like, what is she going to say about me? I'm scared. She goes around to all these people and starts giving a word. But she says to me, I'll never forget this, when I was like 19 or 20. She said, oh, Natalie, I see writing. I see writing on paper. I see songs. By the way, I'd have maybe written 10 songs at this point in my life. But she said, I see writing on paper. You're going to be a songwriter. You're going to write lots of songs. And she said, but you feel like you're not worthy of it. But she said, but you are worthy. You are worthy of this. And that has always rung in my head, because if you live in Nashville, it's full of some of the biggest songwriters, biggest artists, producers, everything. And it's real easy to feel like you're not worthy to do something. And then I went through a little phase in my life where I thought I was worthy of everything. I thought I was absolutely amazing. Nobody's ever heard of a deep, dark song like this. And it was an absolute turd. But, you know, I went through that phase as well. And then I ended up getting my first publishing deal with this woman. Her name was Barbara Orbison. And yes, she was Roy Orbison's wife, who some of us might know who Roy Orbison. I never assume anybody knows who anybody is anymore, but Roy Orbison was like, I mean, he was friends with the Beatles. Like, he was the most amazing voice, and he wrote Pretty Woman, all these incredible songs. Traveling Wilburys, he was in that. But anyways, Barbara was German, and her father practically rebuilt Germany after World War II. And she was very intimidating. And I'll never forget, I asked her, because I thought Roy Orbison was blind for years, but he's not blind. And I was very embarrassed, but I was like, what's it like living with a blind man? She's like, Natalie, he was not blind. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. But she gave me this piece of advice that I always remembered that was so funny to me. She said, Natalie, let me tell you, in the music business, love is money. And if people love you, they will give you lots of money. And I was like, how much do you love me, Barbara? And she loved me kind of medium, but so I got my first publishing deal during that time, and you know what? I kept trying to get cuts. I kept trying to be an artist, and just the doors were not opening for me. So I went to work at Comcast for a while, and while I was working there, I still wrote songs because that's all I know to do. That's what I'm best at. I'm not a good, I'm at a lot of other things, but I'm okay at writing songs. So I started writing songs. I started writing this one song called Timing is Everything. And I just started piecing it together. And then I ended up, they took this song, and my publisher was like, hey, why don't you take this to Troy Jones? And I'm like, who's Troy Jones? And he said, well, he has that song, God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. I don't know if y'all know that one. It was a hit a while back ago, but I said, okay, I'll take it to him. So I did, and we ended up writing a beautiful song called Timing is Everything. And then it ended up being in this big movie that came out at the time called Country Strong. And it was like the ending song that they wrote at the end of the song. It's like, that's usually the biggest song you get whenever you get cut in a movie. But this song has resonated throughout my career, though, because the other truth about a song is that timing is everything. Sometimes it takes a long time for things to be realized. And it does. It comes out at the right time. So this is called Timing is Everything. When the stars line up and you catch a good break, and people think you're lucky, but you know it's grace. It can happen so fast or a little bit late. Timing is everything. No, I've had close calls when it could have been me. I was young when I learned just how fragile life could be. I lost friends of mine. I guess it wasn't my time. Timing is everything. Child that God took home, I would have been one more unfinished song. When it seems the answer's hard to find, that's when one comes along just in time. Well, I remember that day still met. You ran into the building to get out of the rain, 'cause you were soaking wet. And as you held the door, you wanted to know my name. Timing is everything. can call it destiny. Sometimes it really feels like it's a mystery. You can be hurt by love, but healed by the same. Yeah, timing is everything. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. So, if you want to know, I kind of wanted to be an artist for a long time. Like at least 13 years. I really gave it a go. And do you guys know Amy Grant by any chance? Okay, thank God. I'm getting older and just these things are slipping away from me. But no, but okay, so I grew up knowing Amy Grant. My mom has been her personal assistant for like over 40 years in Vince Gill. But like when I was younger, I just loved Amy's voice so much. It was almost like she spoke or she sang like she talked. It was like, baby, baby, I'm taken with the notion to love you with the sweetest of devotion. She just had this really clear tone. So as a kid, I took that voice and I put that in my little Natalie Hemby voice pot and I put that aside. Then I heard Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt was like, she just blew me away. I love Bonnie Raitt's voice because it had such rasp and soul, and she could play blues, and she was an amazing guitar player. And I remember singing I Can't Make You Love Me in high school like I was a 40-year-old divorcee. Like, I can't make you love me if you don't. She had that really nice tone. So I took that voice and I put it in my little Natalie Hemby voice pot. And then I heard Sheryl Crow on the radio, and I absolutely love Sheryl's voice. Sheryl, she kind of sang almost kind of like the Rolling Stones of like where she this singy, talky thing. All I want to do is have a little fun before I die. Stands a man next to me out of nowhere. So I just like took that voice and I put that in my little voice pot over here. And then the last one that was very influential on me was Sarah McLachlan, who was in charge of Lilith Fair back in the day. I don't know if you've heard In the Arms of the Angel. Basically, I loved her voice because it was so smooth. And that song did save a lot of dogs too, so that makes me happy. But anyways, so I had my own style. These were my styles. And I met with so many different label people, and it just never happened. The door never opened. And I got to a point where I was like, God, I just want to do music. I don't care what it looks like anymore. And so I ended up getting married, and my husband started producing this girl from Texas. She was such a spitfire, but her name is Miranda Lambert, and basically the first 3 records my husband produced, and I really learned Miranda's voice. And by the 3rd record, I came up to her and I was just like, hey, I know I'm the producer's wife, but I have a lot of song ideas, and if you'd be willing to listen, I won't waste any of your time. I would love to write with you. And she was like, yeah, sure. We can totally do it. Whenever I come back, let's get together and write. In her Texas accent. I'm going to switch mics real quick. So she comes over to my house, and I was really nervous. I had a lot of things ready to go for her, but there was one song title I had forever. It was called White Liar, and I didn't know how to write it. Like, do you write it kind of stupid, like white liar, pants on fire, or do you write it like white liar, really dark and mysterious? I didn't know what to do. But I kid you not, I bring this song up to her, and this is after we had written I'm not joking, 6 songs. And she's like, White Liar. Let me see. Yeah, I kind of like that. Is it like, hey, white liar, truth comes out a little at a time. And I just looked at her and I was like, yeah, I love that. That's great. Yeah, I like that. And she's like, and it spreads just like a fire. And I was like, you know what, I was going to say fire, but slips off of your tongue like turpentine. Anyways, we ended up writing White Liar, and that was our first #1 together for both she and I. And yeah, it was awesome. And, you know, Miranda is, you don't get to meet a Miranda Lambert every day. Hardly ever, actually. She's very rare. But I will say this, another truth about a song is that sometimes your voice is in another, your song is meant for another voice. I remember having this conversation with her one time, and I was like, are you so excited? Do you just love being an artist? And she was like, I mean, I like it some days. She said, but you know what? It's hard work. She's like, I don't get to go to birthday parties. I don't get to see my friends. I don't get to go to funerals. I employ people. She said, whenever we get on the road, and we get used to being on the road, by the time you get used to being on the road, you have to get off. And then you got to get used to being off the road, and then you got to get back on. She's like, it's a lot of sacrifice, and I don't think people really understand how big of a commitment it can be to be an artist. And that really hit me, because I was like, man, that's what I wanted for so long. But you know what? I found an artist where my songs get to sing through someone else's voice, and I'm so grateful for that. Miranda and I she's cut over 35 songs that we've written together, and she's by far my biggest cheerleader, and I love her so much. But this is one of my favorite songs we wrote. It's called Bluebird. I'm a turner. I turn pages all the time. I don't like where I'm at. If 34 was bad, I just turned to 35. And I'm a keeper. I keep digging down for the deep. Like the records I'm playing, they might keep you waiting, but you know I'm gonna play them for keeps. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. And love keeps giving me lemons, I just mix them in my drink. And if the whole wide world stops singing and all the stars go dark, I'll turn the light on in my soul, keep a bluebird in my heart. Ooh. Well, I'm a giver, yeah, and I'm still giving them hell. Forgiving's pretty hard, so I made an art out of forgetting them well. Yeah, and I'm a rhymer. I can turn 20 cents into a 10. And if I get confused and I start to lose, I'll round the dime till it all makes sense. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. And love keeps giving me lemons, I just mix them in my drink. And if the whole wide world stops singing and all the stars go dark, I'll turn the light on in my soul, keep a bluebird in my heart. Ooh. If the let's just keep sewing it. I got a wild card up my sleeve, and love keeps giving me lemons. I just mix them in my drink. I win if the whole wide world stops singing, and all the stars go dark. I'll turn the light on in my soul, keep a bluebird in my heart. I'll turn the light on in my soul, keep a bluebird in my heart. I'll keep a bluebird in my heart. Thank you. So I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Big Rapids here. I'm like, it's awesome. So I went to the Grand Rapids. Now I'm at the Big Rapids. This is my first time in Michigan, and I absolutely love it here. It's so awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I went and had a burger over at Schubert's. Yeah, Shoe Burgers. If I burp tonight, it's because of that. I'm sorry. The French fries were delicious, and it was. I was over here just like talking to Paul, eating all my fries. But I'm a big fan of small town America. I really am. Nashville has turned into a big town, and I used to complain about how small it is. Now I complain about how big it is. But you guys have a very special place here, and I really appreciate you letting me come and entertain you tonight. So I think one of the most interesting things is there's a lot of transportation songs out there that are really big hits. You know, people love their cars and boats and everything. You know, you have let's think about this for a minute. You got Prince's Little Red Corvette. Hoo-hoo. I mean, that's such a great song. And then you have like Big Old Jet Airliner, Don't Carry Me Too Far Away by Steve Miller Band. And this one kind of makes me mad because it's just so simple, but it's just amazing. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yeah, yellow submarine. So I was very excited when I found out that, nobody had written a song about a pontoon. So my friend Luke Laird and Barry Dean and we decided to write this really funny song called Pontoon. And we were like, oh my God, what if the first line was back this hitch up into the water? Yeah, and we basically are just a bunch of fourth graders trying to write songs. So we wrote this song, Pontoon, and then what you do when you write a song called Pontoon is you take it out to artists in Nashville, to their management or whatever, and you say, hey, would you like to cut this song for your record? And like Kix Brooks was like, ha ha ha, that song's hilarious, but I'm not gonna cut it. We totally took it personal. And then Dierks Bentley put it on hold for a while. Maybe he would cut it. But there's this band called Little Big Town in country music, and they just took this song and they just motorboated their way on up to #1, which is a line in the song if you don't know this. Little Big Town has had some really big hits, okay? They have this one song, I feel no shame, I'm proud of where I came from. I was born and raised in the boondocks. That's how it goes. That one didn't go #1. And then they have another song called Take Me Down to the Little White Church. That song didn't go #1. And they even had this really big, huge song. It was like, I got a girl crush, hate to admit it, but that song didn't go #1. Yeah, but God was like, no, hold my beer, watch this. And Pontoon, this funny song that we wrote, that was their first #1. And literally, it was so strange because when you write an earworm of a song that just really pops off, it's so weird to hear it But I remember I was at a truck stop on the way to go to Wisconsin, and I'm washing my hands, and my song's playing on the overhead. And this lady comes out of the stall, and she's washing her hands, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, great. I was like, that's my song. Really? You wrote that? Yeah, I did. Have a great day. It's just like the coolest thing ever. But really what was so cool is all across the lakes in America. Look, and you might hate this song, and it's totally okay. You do not have to like this song. But all these lakes in America, I could hear it on all these different boats and everything. So my husband and I, we decided to get a pontoon because it went #1. I'm like, might as well get one. So my daughter, she's a year and a half old during this time. And the only line she knows in this brilliant song is motorboating, okay? Because she's that little. So we go out, and this guy's selling his boat. His wife's having a baby. We love the boat. My husband's like, let's get the boat. So we pull into the dock. I pick up my daughter. We're about to step off, and she looks at this guy. She goes, motorboating. And he looks at me and goes, oh my God, isn't that song so awful? Having no clue that I had written it. And my husband was mortified. He didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't really know what I was going to say either. Sorry, I'm going to do this. And so I just picked up my daughter, and I just walked off the dock, and I said, that song is a real piece of shit. And I walked away, but you know what? This song is what sent my daughter to a very nice school. So I'm so proud of this song. You have no idea. And the truth about this song is, sometimes it's so stupid, it's stupid good. Back this hitch up into wire, untie all the cables and rope. We'll step onto the AstroTurf, get yourself a koozie, let's go. You're gonna feel like you could be a songwriter after tonight. Who said anything about skiing? Floating is all I wanna do. Well, you can climb the ladder, just don't rock the boat while I barbecue. On the pontoon, making waves to catch and raise up on the roof. Jumping on the back, don't act like you don't want to. Party in slow motion, out here in the open. Motorboat, and thank you. Please motorboat with me. Well, reach your hand down into the cooler. Don't drink it if the mountains are blue. I wrote that line. And try to keep it steady as you recline on your black inner tube. Oh, yeah. On the pontoon, making waves to catch and raise up on the roof. Jumping on the back, don't act like you don't want to. Party in slow motion, out here in the open. Motorboat, thank you. I've already sold the boat, by the way. 2 best days of my life. And I had a little advertisement. 5 miles an hour with aluminum side. We're paneling with a water slide. Can't beat the heat, so let's take a ride. On the pontoon, making waves to catch and raise up on the roof. Jumping on the back, don't act like you don't want to. Party in slow motion, I'm out here in the open. Motorboating. See, you're gonna go home and write a song tonight about jet skis or, you know, your motorcycle, anything. But mine was a pontoon. On the pontoon. Oh, on the get this hitch out of the water. Thank you. Are we all from Michigan here? What? Well, and Illinois, of course, yes. You haven't been to Ottawa, y'all got to check it out. Beautiful little town. I just did a show there last weekend. Okay. I'm going to do something kind of new here. So I got a phone call. There's a producer in Nashville. His name's Dave Cobb. And he's produced this up-and-coming act, Chris Stapleton. He's kind of a new guy. But Dave called me, and he was like, hey, is there any way you could come out to Los Angeles to write for this movie? They're doing a remake of A Star is Born. And I was like, really? A fourth one, huh? Like, there's been like 3 already. We know how it ends. And then he was like, yeah, it's going to be Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. And I was like, when do I need to be there? So we go out there, and it's me and 5 other songwriters in Nashville. You should know their name. Hillary Lindsey's a Hall of Fame songwriter. Aaron Ratier, Lori McKenna, and Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's son, and then and Dave and me. And we all go out to this studio. It's East West Studios, where they cut the Beach Boys, the Pet Sounds. And Frank Sinatra's piano's there. And we go out there to write these songs for this film, because whenever you are doing a music film, you have to write the music first before they film it. So we go out there, and guess who is recording in the room next to us but the Foo Fighters, who I'm a huge fan of. And we got to hang out with the Foo Fighters all week. That was such a big highlight. But I'll never forget, we all go into this room, and we meet Lady Gaga. And she's like, hey, I'm Stephanie. We're like, hey, it's so nice to meet you. And we were like, what do we call you? And she was like, I mean, you can call me Stephanie. You can call me Lady Gaga. I mean, you can call me Allie. That's the name of my character in the movie. And we were like, no, that's weird. But I think all week long we were like, hey, girl, you know. And then Bradley Cooper is very handsome, and he smells so good. And I definitely hugged him longer than he hugged me. So, and he was very nice, and he thought what we did was absolutely amazing. And we were like, you're amazing, Bradley. But anyways, we all sit down at a piano like this, okay? Actually, it wasn't this piano. It was like a big grand piano. And she sits down, and she's real serious, okay? She's got her glasses down here. And she's like, I have a song idea for the movie. And we can write the song if you want to, or we can write something else. But it goes like this. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. And literally I got a facelift from her voice. Like, my hair was blown back. It was amazing. And I think she even threw in the shallow, all that stuff. And literally, we were just so blown away. But all 6 of us looked at each other. We were like, wow, that was cool. We were like, that was awesome. But did you say you had did you want to write something else? Was there another idea you had? All 6 of us passed on the biggest song of the summer. All 6 of us. But we wrote the second best song in the film, in my opinion. So, yeah. And I know I just did that semi-impression of her, but you'll have to forgive me. I'm not Lady Gaga or Bradley Cooper, but I'm going to try to sing this song as best as I can. But this is called Always Remember Us This Way. All right, here we go. Arizona sky burning in your eyes. You look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. is buried in my soul like California gold. You found a light in me I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, poets trying to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn, we tried. And all I really know is you're where I wanna go. The part of you that's me will never die. When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah, I don't wanna be another memory, baby. Yeah. Ooh, ooh, when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, oh, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Yeah. When you look at me and the whole world fades, I'll always remember us this way. Bradley Cooper. This way. All right. Thank you guys so much. How are you? Are you enjoying tonight? Everything good? Okay, good. Real quick, do you have any questions for me? Anybody want to throw out anything? Yes.
So you balance between being an artist and songwriter. You like hanging out with the Highwomen better or the Love Junkies better?
Hey, that's a great question.
Not trying to get you in trouble.
No. Well, I like the Highwomen. So, like, we have a blast. I get to do things with the Highwomen I would never even dream I would have gotten to do. But with the Love Junkies, I don't have to wear Spanx. I can wear my sweatpants and just write songs. And honestly, that's probably where my heart is really at. Is I really like writing songs for other people. I really like it is a service that we do. I like helping people figure out what they want to say. I really have a heart for artists too. But I don't always like the spotlight being on me as far as being an artist. Always, it's a lot of pressure. And I can't really eat during that time, and it just kind of sucks. Anybody else? Yes.
When you're songwriting, I imagine you get writer's block from time to time, right?
Never. No, of course. Yes, absolutely.
How do you go about kind of getting away from it? Or
Yeah. No, yeah. I mow the lawn. Yeah. I probably should mow the lawn more often. You know, really how you get out of writer's block is you actually Amy Grant, she told me this piece of advice, and it's very good. She said, never stop listening to other people's music. And I used to be like, well, duh, that's all I do. But whenever you're in Nashville, it's like a machine. You're writing all the time. That's your job. And if you are always putting, like outputting, you know what I mean? If you're always trying to, and not taking anything in, you're going to run out of things to say. So what I do is I take like 2 months off, and I know that sounds really crazy, but I work so hard Monday through Friday. Like, and sometimes I work on the weekends. I mean, sometimes I'll write with people till midnight, you know, but I take 2 months off so I can read and listen to other and get inspired. You have to be inspired. And so taking a break is really the best way to get out of writer's block, I think. So, but anybody else? Yes, Liz? Do I do Christmas? I do. I love Christmas music. It's like when it's coming up here shortly. I've written a few Christmas songs. So I wrote actually a Christmas song with Alicia Keys. It's on her Christmas record. And Alicia Keys, she's wonderful, lovely, lovely person. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, first off,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
from a business perspective, what advice would you have to aspiring career songwriters in terms of like reaching out to publishers and everybody and making the connections?
Of course. Yeah, that's a great question. If you want to be a songwriter, you can songwrite anywhere. I mean, I feel like a lot of, Billie Eilish, she wrote all those songs in her bedroom with her brother, at a very young age. And I can just only imagine a lot of songwriters come from towns like this. They don't come from Nashville, They have a lot of things to say. So, but you eventually have to move to a music city if you want to write all the time for music. And there's a place called BMI that's my affiliate. There's ASCAP BMI. I always start there because they're great at getting you in contact with other publishers or other songwriters. And look, if you want to move to Nashville to be a songwriter, really what needs to happen is it's okay to have a job and to songwrite. It's okay to have a job to support your passion and your creativity, to get you, especially when you're young. You got this when you're young. You can work during the day and write at night and go play clubs. You can do that. If you got a family, it's harder. But when you're young, if you go out there and really seek after it, you can, and you meet your own community. That's what I did. And you start playing there's lots of songwriter places to play in Nashville. The only bummer about Nashville right now, if I'm being really honest, is that it's expensive. Everybody from California has moved there. It's their fault. But it is expensive to live there. But if you can find roommates, and that's where you got to be, there or LA, and also Texas. Texas is great too. They have tons of amazing songwriters down there. Yes.
Down there a few years ago, and I went golfing, and I was golfing with a guy that was a songwriter. And he said, and I think I had asked him, have you ever had a number one? He says, nope. I'd go and you're living in Nashville.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, how do they make the money to be able to live if you're not?
I mean, how does anyone do it, honestly? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I almost gave up. Like, you give up a lot, but you get back on the horse a lot too. A lot of people have to have jobs. They just do. I have friends who worked at restaurants for years. But it wasn't, you can still have a middle class lifestyle there. It's just, it is expensive to live there. That's the only bummer. But I feel like that's the beauty of it, though. It's like, what's your dream? It's like, come to Nashville. It's amazing I remember when Maren Morris came to Nashville. She didn't have nothing going on. I mean, she'd played in Texas some, but she's an amazing writer. We're always looking for great writers. We're always looking for great singers and songwriters and artists and producers. And I meet new ones daily. Like, there's a lot of talented people. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. Oh, my Lord. Do you guys want to stay here for like 5 hours? Yes. Are you kidding? Oh, the thing I have a hard time with, it's like, it used to, at first it was like this dinner party trick, like, look at Suno. Just say a sentence and it can make you a song. Like, and it was kind of funny. And now it's like people are using it to write. I mean, I have friends who use it all the time. And it's like anything with technology. You love, hate it, right? There are some easier things, but man, one thing I do like, I'm interested in the person's perspective of, rather than like, I want to know. I like authenticity, but not everybody does, you know? It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. No, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
With nowadays technology like TikTok, YouTube, and all of that, would you think going into a studio to make music is more beneficial than going online? A lot of music producers, not songwriters nowadays, do use TikTok.
Oh, tons of people use TikTok. I mean, I think everybody, and whatever means a person can get their song out there is really how they're going to do it, you know? The studio experience is amazing. There's nothing like playing all these musical instruments with all these creative and talented people in one room. There is a vibe and a creative buzz that you don't get just sitting in your basement and working on stuff that you do whenever you're in a studio with people. I think everybody should experience that at least once, you know? It's almost like putting on a play. Like, do you just want to put on a play by yourself, or do you want to like put on a play with all these amazing actors and people? It's interesting. I wish more people could experience it, but everything is being priced out. It's really hard. It's like it's almost like the best time of music and the worst time of music. A little bit of a dichotomy. So, anybody else have any questions? Yes. Yeah, I do. But you know, I feel like I got to a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But there's always an artist side of me, you know. But there are realities of like I can't go on tour. I got a 14-year-old daughter, and I only get 4 or 5 more summers with her, you know, before she goes to college. And you know, I'm getting older. My parents are getting older, and it's hard. It's hard to do that kind of stuff. It's hard to be gone all the time. But when you're young, it's a blast. I totally recommend it. Yes. Oh, I'm going to save him for last. Is that okay? Yeah, I'm going to save him for last. All right, I'm going to keep going here, but I wanted to tell you about this guy I got to write with, named Ed Sheeran. This redheaded guy. Yeah, he's super nice. If you're hoping he's nice, he's like so super nice. Ed he's funny. Honestly, he didn't need to write with me. He writes all his own songs, right? But he was writing in Nashville with a bunch of different people. And there's a guy he writes with all the time. His name's Johnny McDade. He's in this band, Snow Patrol. And it's his best friend. And Johnny is my friend. So he called me in to write. And he rented out this, like, the biggest house in Nashville ever. It's like this castle-looking thing. And but he comes in and he's super nice, and he asked me the oddest question. He was like, "Hey," he goes, "How old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 40." You know, I'm not 40 anymore. But he's like, "Are you 40?" And he goes, "Wow, really?" He goes, "Do you do drugs?" And I was like, "Ed Sheeran, that's terrible. Like, not you." And I said, "No, honey, I take hormones." But he was like, I said, why did you ask me that? He goes, "Well, you look really young for your age." And I was like, "I'm in love with the shape of you." I was like, "Thank you so much, Ed." But, you know, it's so funny when you write with someone really big like Ed Sheeran, who knows what he wants to say. Sometimes you run into these moments of like, I don't really know if I like don't really know if I like that line. And it's hard to tell them that, okay? I mean, I usually just say it, but we wrote this song. It's been a long time, but he kept putting the word candlelight in there. And I don't know why I don't like the word candlelight. I think it's cheesy, and it's just me. It's a Natalie thing, okay? But I just remember being like, well, what about like moonlight or something like that? And he was like, well, no, but it's like by the candlelight, you know? And I was like, oh yeah, no, I love candlelight. Let's do that. So, anyways, we wrote like 5 or 6 songs. I mean, he's just a stream of consciousness person. But then he ended up cutting the song like 4 years later. And I would say the truth about a song is, on this, if Ed Sheeran wants to put candlelight in his song, you're going to just let him put candlelight. So this song was not a big hit. It's an album cut, but it's an Ed Sheeran song for me. So here we go. It's been a while since we've been alone. Turn off the TV and the telephone. Need to tell you you're beautiful, 'cause it's been a while, and I apologize. I just get caught up in the rat race I'm running, chasing a moment I'm hoping is coming. If I stopped and took a look around, it's in front of my eyes, darling, let's press rewind. Baby, just slow down time. Darling, let dress reminds me of the first time I wanna love tonight. One-on-one by the candlelight. Over and over we spend our lives, living fast forward but not tonight. Love in slow motion. It's been a while since it was you and me. Too many friends, too many evening drinks. We commit to so many things, not to ourselves. And I apologize. Sometimes you're sad and you tell me it's nothing, and I brush it off because it's always something. I need to change my perspective, prioritize. One thing I know is this: every moment this can be restored. Your lips, it only takes one kiss. I wanna love tonight, one-on-one by the candlelight. Over and over we spend our lives, living fast forward but not tonight. I wanna love. Uh-oh, there it is. Love tonight, one-on-one by the candlelight. Over and over we spend our lives, living fast forward but not tonight. Love in slow motion, slow motion. Thank you. So, going back to that artist question, I basically get another phone call from Dave Cobb, and he was asking me, he said, hey, I have this girl band that I'm producing called the Highwomen, and I was wondering if you'd want to write songs for them. And I was like, sure, send me some stuff. And he sent me, they had rewritten the Highwaymen, and it was like, I was a highwoman and a mother from my youth, but my children, I did what I had to do. My family left Honduras when they killed the Sandinistas. We followed a coyote through the dust to Mexico, and every one of them except for me survived. but I'm still alive. And I was like, wow, that is insane. I don't know if I can write anything with Sandinistas in it, but I can certainly try. But anyways, so I ended up writing a couple of songs. They wanted a song that was like a Dolly 9 to 5, song. And I was like, okay, let me just whip that one right up. Those are so easy to write. But I ended up writing a song called Redesigning Women. And yes, I loved the show Designing Women. And I thought that was my idea, was to redesign women. But anyways, I wrote that song, and then I wrote with Lori McKenna a song called Crowded Table. And then I ended up, thank you. And then I ended up writing another one called My Only Child, because my daughter's she used to always be like, can I have a brother or sister or something? And I'm like, well, honey, mommy's ovaries aren't working like they should. Anyways, so I ended up writing these 3 songs, and then Brandy and Amanda and Maren, who were in the band, they were like, you want to come sing on the record? And I was like, sure. That's weird. It's your band. Yes, I can come over. So I sang on the record, and I'll never forget Brandy and Amanda, they came up to me and they were like, hey, do you want to be in our band? Brandy Carlisle, and I was like, I don't know. I don't have a manager or anything. Like, I don't know. I didn't say yes right away. And they were like, well, we're gonna open for Dolly at the Newport Folk Festival. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll be in your band. So, and you have to imagine, I want you to imagine, okay, you guys are from all this area. Like, this is Natalie from Comcast. They just asked to join this mega super group thing. And I'm just like, am I ready for this? And I was like, what are we wearing? I was more mortified about what I'm supposed to wear. And then, but anyways, we made this record. It was so much fun. It was to basically bring attention to, hey, we need more female country artists in country music. Literally in the top 50 right now of country, on the country charts, there's 5 girls. 5 in the top 50. And I'm not a man hater. I love men. My point is, though, I'm like, there are some amazing girl artists that you guys should check out in country music. They are phenomenal. And they just do not play them on the radio. I do not know why. It's just something that it's always been a struggle. But anyways, we were trying to bring attention to that. So we go out and we do this record, and I mean, it did really well. Like, we went on Jimmy Fallon. Like, I was getting to be this artist. My dream was coming true. And we went to Newport Folk Festival. I mean, Dolly smells like little angel baby food cake, just perfume. She's so amazing and beautiful. And it was all this momentum. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened. And just everything just stopped. And it didn't completely stop, but it put a halt on. And look, this is the last tragic thing about COVID, trust me. But it was this time where it was like, man, we might have been something really big. But during this time, I had this song title I have forever called Crowded Table on a list of titles that I've been wanting to write. And I'm going to tell you right now, I wanted nothing more than to be around a crowded table of people during COVID. I don't know about you guys. And I'm so grateful even just to be in this room here tonight with you. We're all sitting so close, and we're so lucky. We made it through such a terrible time. But I'm so grateful for this song because it's sort of my Thanksgiving song. And I really do. I feel that way. I feel like heaven is going to be one big crowded table of people. And the truth about a song on this is if you don't write the song, you don't know where it's going to take you. You can hold my hand when you need to let go. I can be a mountain when you're feeling valley low. I can be a street light showing you the way home. You can hold my hand when you need to let go. Hey, I want a house with a crowded table in a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seeds, plant a little happiness, let the roots run deep. If it's love that we give, then it's love that we breathe. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seeds. Hey, I want a house with a crowded table in a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. The door is always open, your picture's on my wall. Everyone's a little broken, but everyone belongs. Yeah, everyone belongs. I want a house with a crowded table in a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done, and bring us back together when the day is done. Thank you. Thanks for singing along. So, do you mind if I play a couple more? You guys have been a lovely audience. Thank you so much for, taking a Tuesday night and I'm going to play you just a couple more. And this next song, I have, everyone always asks me, what's your favorite song you've ever written? And I'm going to definitely say this next song is one of my favorites that I've ever written. I wrote this in 2013. I wrote it with Kacey Musgraves and Shay McAnally, and we were all going through a really rough time during that time. And we were trying to write a song for her record called Pageant Material. But this song was not a good song for that record. That record was very, it was just a fun record and very cowboy and all that kind of stuff. But it was the perfect ending for her third record called Golden Hour. And I find it interesting because songs they're like bread. They have to rise at the right time, you know. You have to, they have to be brought out at the right time. And during Golden Hour, I got more letters from people about who have had like rainbow babies, you know, they've lost people, and every time they see a rainbow, it's their loved one saying hello, and all of these beautiful, heartfelt letters. And I'm going to tell you, songwriting hits are amazing. That's like such an awesome thing and a wonderful way to pay the bills. But really, The truth of the matter is the purpose of it is for people. It's like when someone tells me that one of my songs is part of their timeline or one of their songs that they always remember somebody by, that means more to me than anything. That's really what I signed up for. I love seeing little kids choirs sing this song, or church choirs, or, I've sang this at way too many funerals, sang this at a couple weddings, but I really do feel like songwriting is such a divine, weird gift. And let me find the chords to this song too, by the way, so I don't mess it up. But it's one of those, this is my favorite song. And honestly, we all go through really rough times in our life. We're all going to experience some really rough times in our life. And I hope that when you hear this song, that you will thank God for the storms and thank God for, the sun, but most of all, thank God for the rainbows. Here we go. When it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice that it ain't raining anymore. It's hard to breathe when all you know is the struggle of staying above the rising water line. But the sky is finally open. Rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella, but darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. If you could see what I see, you'd be blinded by the colors, red and yellow, orange, green, and at least a million others. So tie up the boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. 'Cause the sky is finally open. Rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in this. Hold on, I lost my place. Stuck out in the same old storm again. So, what is the truth about a song? The truth about a song is that each and every person in here has had a song instilled in them in some way. Someone who's believed in them when nobody else believed in them. Someone who has heard your song above all the rest and has lifted you up, has given you purpose. Each and every person in here has a purpose in life, has a gift, has a talent. And it is what it's called. It's a gift, and it's meant to be given. And I'm here to preach the message of, please use your gift because the world needs your gift. Some of you are amazing teachers. Some of you are amazing doctors. Some of you are great with animals. Some of you are great friends. And some of you have a heart of a songbird, you know? It doesn't matter about fame or success. It matters that you use this gift that God has given only to you to give to other people. And for me, my grandfather was my person who believed in me more than anybody. He was from Southeast Missouri. He was one of 9 children. He came from absolutely nothing. But he used to sit with me and play guitar, and we'd sing songs together. And he used to watch me dance. He'd come to all my shows. He also would record me singing sometimes, you know. But he didn't do it because he thought I was going to be a big Broadway star or a big Opry star. He did it because he himself had a gift to give me. He gave me his gift, and it's your job, especially in this day and age. We need you in the world. We need whatever that gift is you have. And I just can't stress to you enough. If you don't keep using your gift, you're going to forget how it goes. If you don't keep singing the song, you're going to forget how it goes. And I just want to leave you with this one last song. What if there was no music? What would that be like? How tragic would that be? What if you didn't have your gift and you didn't share it with other people? Somebody is missing out on what you have to give. And I just want to encourage you to send it out into the world. This is called If There Was No Music. With a cowboy right away off into the sun, with the congregation know the wedding has begun. What would hush a crowd, bring down the house, roll the speakers out? How would a boxer know how to climb into the ring? Would you know you made it home if the angels didn't sing? What would lay its claim to your teenage pain? What would you play if there was no music? What would remind you of yourself? If there were no love songs, you relive how love felt? What would you drive to, cry to, remember goodbye to? How would you ever get through it if there was no music? If there was no music. Without a lullaby, how would the baby sleep? Memphis would run dry, no blues to paint the streets that made Elvis shake, and young hearts break, no land of grace. If there was no music, And that is the truth about a song. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, Paul.